Okay, I'm going to show you how to play pop piano really quick and dirty, and the practice will be up to you. I'm not much of a pianist, but I can give you the basic outline really quickly. So the first thing you're going to need to know is you're going to need to know how to figure out all of the major scales. And then from there, you can figure everything else out. So let's start with the C major. Every time you see two black keys, the C is just to the left. So in order to do a C major, we're going to use all the white keys starting on C. There's the 5-finger version, which we'll use the most. And that's the full version. What I want you to pay attention to is the distance from one note in the C major scale to the next. So if you look, here's the C, the next note is the D. There's a key between them. And that means it's a whole step. And from the D to the E, it's another whole step. There's a key in the middle. From from E to F, no key in the middle, that's a half step. Whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. Let's look again. Root, that's the C. Whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. Now you can start on any key at all, and you can find out what the major scale is going to be. So just as an example, I'm not going to go all the way through, but you start at a G sharp, and then the next one is going to be whole step. It's the A sharp. And then from there, we got another whole step that's going to take us to C. And then from there, half step. And then from there, another whole step. And so what that sounds like is, you can hear it? It sounds major. The reason that pattern matters is because that's going to form the basis for the most common chords that you'll find in music. So let's look at those. C major chord. Start with the pattern. Very good, 5-finger pattern. C major chord is fingers 1, 3, and 5 together. If you need a C minor, you take that middle finger and you're just going to drop it a half step. You can hear that difference. Now, let's say that instead of a minor, you need a 7th. And it's a little murky to me, the logic that goes into this. But what you do really is you take your thumb and you're going to drop it one whole step. Now, technically, you would still include the root. You would still include that C, and there are different ways to do that. What I like to do to make it easy is I'll just do it with my other hand. There it is. So now that we know what that major chord is, the minor chord is, we can apply that anywhere. We do that by figuring out the major scale. So let's go to a D. Let's say we need a D minor chord. Okay, that's the 5-finger pattern. Sounds major. Awesome. There's the D major chord. There's the D minor chord. You want a D minor 7? There it is. And again, it actually, in my mind, it sounds a little bit cleaner. There's the D major 7. I actually like it better when you drop out the root. Okay, so just to give you an example, let's go with Stand By Me, right? So this is great. Now you know how to make majors, minors, 7th chords, and minor 7th chords. So that's most of what you need to know. Now there's another trick that you'll need to know, and that is this. As long as you include the same notes, then you can rearrange the way the notes are on the chord. So for example, G major is C, E, G. Well, we can move our hand around, and we can recompose it. You hear how that sounds the same. The reason that you do that is when you're doing a song, maybe you want to keep your right hand in the same location, or your left, and you want to be able to still sound all the proper chords. Well, you can do that without moving your hand around much. So there's, for example, there's an F major, and then in the event that we need a G major, there's the G major. Oh, you want an A minor? Excuse me, that's an F. So an A minor is just going to be drop that thumb down. Oh, you want A major? There it is. So by recomposing those chords, same notes, different locations, we can get a lot of music made without moving your hands around very much. So you don't have to be real dexterous once you figure out just how to do that major triad, finger 1, 3, 5. Now the next piece is also, it's surprisingly simple, and that is if you want to play along a little melody or something, you'll want to know which scale you're in. So C scale is you start on C and you play all the white keys. The relative minor, and that means that it's the minor scale using all the same keys, for C is A. And we get that by going 3 half steps down. So 1 half step, 2 half steps, 3 half steps, and now we start on the A. Same, all the white keys, but this time it has that signature ominous sound to it that we get from a minor key. So next question is, and by the way, since earlier we talked about how to find all the notes in a major scale, you can start on any major scale, find the notes, and then you also get a bonus present, which is you now know all the notes in the relative minor, 3 half steps below. So the last thing is, how do you know what key a song is written in? And I like to play piano as though I'm playing a guitar, so I look up a lot of chords and use lead sheets. So what you do is you look at the chords that are in the song, and you're going to get yourself a copy of the Circle of Fifths on the internet, and you're going to look at just the root note of the chord. So if it's an A minor, you're just going to call it an A. If it's a D, D7 minor, you're just going to call it a D. That's fine. And you'll look at where all of these notes are clustered around on the Circle of Fifths, or excuse me, not notes, but chords. Where they cluster. And in the middle, you're going to find one major scale and one minor scale, and then you just have to answer the question of which is it? Chances are really, really good that, for example, let's say all of your notes are clustered around G and E, or all your chords are. So probably your song is in a G major or an E minor key, and it starts on an E minor chord. That's almost a certainty that you're going to be playing in an E minor key. So you can get yourself a copy of the Circle of Fifths, and now you know how to make about 90% of the chords that you need to know, and the only thing you'll need to do is put in some time. Good luck.